Toast. Oh. Hey everybody, it's Ash, and I'm joined with...
Bitters, the artist.
She's an amazing artist, like literally one of my favorite artists. You may recognize her from that really viral video on my channel, How to Draw Furries.
And thank you all for watching it. I have gotten so many good responses and new followers and friends from people seeing that video and reaching out to me, and I just absolutely love that you love the video.
It's such a wonderful thing, you know, like learning to draw furries and everything. And, you know, it got me thinking. It really did. I was kind of like pondering the other day. I was like, okay, furry artists. You guys must get some really interesting questions in your DMs and stuff because, let's be honest, furries are a little weird.
Absolutely.
It's okay though, you know, like there's nothing wrong with it.
We're furries too. We love the weirdness. We're weird too.
I embrace the weird. I'm really freaking weird.
The weird is what makes it fun.
So, you know, that got me thinking, you know, like, hey, you guys get some really weird DMs, and I kind of want to know, like, can you think of the 5 things that bother you the absolute most about getting asked when you are getting commissioned? Or, you know, like, just by somebody who just hits you up.
Okay, well, the first thing that comes to mind, and it's horrible, never send, without asking, especially pictures of your body in any shape or form to an artist without consent.
Yeah.
It's general rule.
That's creepy. That's...
Don't do that.
I mean, that seems like something that, you know, like common sense would dictate right there.
Yeah,
you know, like
but it is the internet, so...
You're right, it is the internet, and you do get weird people on the internet, and furries are inherently weird, so, you know, like, I can imagine you've seen some interesting things just from people being like, hey, Bitters, you want to see my elbow?
Yeah, no, weird ones. Yeah, don't do that. Generally speaking, you know what? I imagine 100%, I'm sure there are some artists that are totally okay with that. Generally speaking, just... think of it as if you are going up to, in a physical place, to McDonald's and asking for what you want. Would you do that at McDonald's?
Well...
hopefully you wouldn't.
You know me. No,
oh, okay. Your adventure to get food is like totally different from mine.
YouTube? What?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we got like, don't send pictures of anatomy.
Yeah, just don't.
Just don't do that.
We have already drawn them enough, whatever it is, elbows, toes, faces. We don't need your specific reference of any limbs.
No.
We got it.
It's all good.
We'll work with you, but within reason.
So what's another one? Give me another one. Throw it down. So this is number 4.
Listen, I love your work. I love it, absolutely love it. But if a person is working for money, day-to-day, full-time freelance, a trade is not an acceptable form of payment. Trades are great. Usually an artist will have in their profile somewhere online, trades accepted, trades denied. Don't try to become their friend for free art. This might be number 3.
Is that a thing?
Oh my God, yes.
I didn't know that people would actually do that. That actually kind of creeps me out.
It's really extremely common. I would say every artist that I work with has at least had one instance of that.
That's so aggravating.
It's usually people that just don't know the rules yet.
So let's for the uninitiated, let's go back a little bit. Let's rewind. Let's talk about trades. So you know, like what
trades?
So a trade is what in the furry fandom? So like obviously you're trading something for something. So
right. So a trade is when one artist does work for another artist and vice versa. So 2 artists come together and like, I want to make you something and I want to make you something, and they do that instead of paying each other. And that usually happens only between very close friends. This is I'm talking about like they've known each other for 5+ years. It usually also happens, no offense, it also happens with artists who are on the same level of work. So if I'm doing full-time freelance, if I was in a trade, it's going to be somebody else who does full-time freelance daily. And that's just kind of how it works. It's something kind of more, you don't see this outside of online art communities. Like, well, you do, but in a different way. Like, if you're doing fine art, it's like, I'll give you a painting if you give me your giant ceramic vase.
Can I trade a Picasso for like that coffee cup?
Yeah, that's fine.
I mean, like you wouldn't do that in real life.
Yeah,
so don't try and do that to some artists because this is their job. This
is a job, and we have to make money to pay our bills, and that honestly, baseline understanding of most of these issues is we do this for work. It's something we do to pay our bills, to feed our pets, to feed us. to feed our families.
Send artists food.
Actually, yes, that's acceptable. I will do that.
Food is payment. Food is good payment. I mean, like,
casserole for a Telegram sticker.
see, you know, like for my like film days, that was the thing.
Oh, yeah.
That was a literal thing for me. It was, you know, like you would judge the quality of a set based on the food that they gave you, and that was it.
So here's another tip for people who are going through art school. If you in some way incorporate food into your art crit, your grade's gonna be way better. I can promise.
I feel like that's cheating. Are you telling people to cheat?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what art is. It's just finding new ways to cheat.
So let's bounce back to number 3 now. So you
Yes.
had don't become friends with somebody just so you can get free art.
And you know, don't do that to anyone for any reason.
Yeah, that's what we call using people. That's a really shitty thing to do. Don't do that. That's not good.
Speaking negative.
I mean, as a content creator, I've been on the reciprocating side of that too. You know, like sometimes people will be like, oh, you know, like I want visibility from, you know, like your channel, or I want XYZ. And, you know, like, while it can be nice to ask somebody for that opportunity, and sometimes, yes, it will be presented to you.
And don't expect it. Most times, if somebody asks me for that, I'm gonna answer and be like, no, you know, I'm just not open for trades, you know, whatever. But don't be mad when they say no.
Yeah, or if they say no. There's no guarantee that somebody's gonna say no. I mean,
Yeah,
sometimes
it
I'll
could
be
yes.
like,
you know, maybe I'm bored.
yeah.
Maybe I'll do it. But the thing is like, maybe I have free time. I guess I shouldn't say bored. Maybe I have free time. It just means that I'm bored because I don't have free time. But in general, it just, you know, it's okay to ask questions. 100%. You know, and usually these people have their guidelines out so you can kind of know before you ask. Don't get upset when somebody says no, and don't ask why. Just accept it and move on, okay? Yeah. We need to be gracious individuals.
No means no.
No means no.
Yeah.
Every time.
You're not entitled to have somebody else spend hours of their time making you something. I mean, that's the way it works everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, this is
the
literally
real world.
the real world here. But you know, like some of you all haven't had that experience yet, and that's why we're kind of talking about it. This isn't to be mean. This is to educate. You know, like we want you to understand.
Furry 101.
Yeah, Furry 101. Furry commissions.
Yeah, Furry commissions 101.
Yeah, there you go.
Just a little background.
So like, let's think about like number 2 for a second. So like, what would number 2 be?
This is something that happens more when you start, like an artist starts to get like more orders. But if an artist is closed, don't get upset if they're closed, okay? So let's take an example, stream slots on an art stream.
Oh, sure, that's super common, yeah.
So I'll say I've allotted 5 hours in my day to an art stream. That means I can get like 2.5 pieces done, basic pieces. If you don't get a slot and you come in later, don't get upset with the artist that the slots aren't open. It has nothing to do with they didn't like your persona or you're not popular enough. It's just, you know, they've already selected those people. Maybe they were first come, first serve. But in general, don't fight it, because that's a good way to get yourself on a blacklist.
Oh, yeah, totally. Like, I've seen people who will hop into those chat rooms at the end of a stream and they'll just be like, oh, you know, like, I want this. Shut up and take my money.
And
that's not okay.
It's not okay. Also, this mindset that artists are always poor and they need your money and they'll do anything for the money. That's not... We have some level of pride and decency.
Some of us do.
That's what I said some. Sorry, Ash. I know you don't. But generally speaking, like, don't treat us like we will do anything for you because you have money. That's really gross attitude in life anyway. It's kind of the same thing of like if you go out to eat and you put $5 on a table, or like every time you mess up, I take off $1. Don't be that guy. I was also a waitress, believe it or not. And at that point, I don't want your money.
I mean, most of us have been in like service industry jobs. I mean, like imagine what that was like when, you know, like, I mean, again, I don't know how old y'all are. I mean, some of you guys are younger, some of you are older. But, you know, like everybody's had that first job where people just aren't super nice to you, you know, or like they've had that experience maybe in school where it's like, you know, people can be mean. They can be bullies. They can like try and manipulate the situation in their favor.
Yeah.
And I mean, really, you know, like art is a skill that is kind of born of your creative side. And so when you enter into something like that, you know, like when you enter into this creative contract, this agreement, when you're doing a commission, it's super important that you're going into that in, you know, like in good faith and with a good connection to the artist, because otherwise it's going to turn out like shit for you.
And I will be honest here. If I don't like you, I'm not going to, like, if you're being a jerk to me, I'm not gonna do as well.
Yeah, I mean,
and that's just because like there's a meter of caring. You know, I start out 100%, maybe even 150. Okay, and every time, you know, you're rude to me or my friends, or something like goes wrong and you're being mean, that goes lower and lower and lower. And it's not even something that's like I'm aware of 100% of the time. Okay, it's just how humanity works. And I'm not gonna say like, oh, if I don't like you, I'm not gonna do the best of my ability, because generally speaking, it's a professional contract. Okay, but that has to be on both sides.
All right, let's see if we can get number 1 in before the battery dies.
Oh my God.
Let's see. Okay, so what is your number 1 biggest like pet peeve, the most frustrating thing that you deal with really when it comes to dealing with like furry art, commissions, and all that?
If an artist does personal art, it's okay. They're also working on your commission, I promise.
Oh.
And if an artist posts a finished commission, do not, within 5 seconds of the post of that finished commission, ask about yours, because they just finished one, but it's somebody else's. It means they did that one. Not if they're gonna send you work in progresses, they're gonna send you the completed piece. And we know it's just so you can be like, hey, work on my art. Okay, it's not, you're not slick here.
Yeah.
We know. And you know what? Artists can take a long time. If you're worried about art taking a long time, and here's another thing for artists also, be honest with how long it's gonna take. I take a long time. It's in my TOS, minimum 3 to 4 months.
Yeah, I mean, and that's not uncommon. I mean, like you got to keep in mind, artists work from cues. You know, like they try and set up work over time. It's similar to kind of like what I do when I'm making videos. You know, like I filmed multiple videos through the course of a week, and I set those up in a backlog.
Battery low.
I had to hit record again because the battery died. That sucks. Sometimes that happens when you're recording. You know, like
again, when an artist finishes a commission or artwork, do not immediately Telegram, DM, whatever, asking about you if yours is finished yet, because I promise you that they just finished one. They're tired. They want to post it. They want to relive that tiny little high, and that endorphin rush of like, hey, I finished this thing. Listen, we can only complete like one at a time. Well, we can only work on one at a time, okay? If I had 4 hands and 2 sets of eyes, I would definitely work on 2 pieces at once simultaneously. But I can't.
You'd be Chip?
That's impressive.
I'm kidding.
I just realized that joke.
Maha!
It's 4 arms.
Bad furry jokes.
Yes. Anyway, it's just, you know, it just means 1 down, 1 more closer to yours being down, okay? That's fine. It's cool.
Yeah, be patient. You know, like being patient is like such an important thing in life, in anything,
and
especially now. Like, everything's been like basically canceled. So
artists are having a hard time too. Okay, I know you think that we just sit at home all day and do nothing, and you know, you see us online and you think we're just like doing nothing. That's not true. It's not how we work. Artists are physical artists maybe. Artists are very I don't want to say sensitive, but reactive to our surroundings. And we have lost clients, we have lost work, we have lost support systems. A lot of us, not me, but a lot of artists have another job. They may have lost that other job. They may be dealing with, a lot of artists work in retail or food service, etc. on their other hand, and they're dealing with the threat of getting COVID every single day. And we're doing that also the same as you are. Be a little kinder in general. I promise you, our quarantine is not just sitting at home watching movies.
So, we talked about things that you shouldn't do.
Yes.
Now, I am going to share some of the things that I believe you should do for artists. Because honestly, as a commissioner, as somebody who loves art and commissions a lot of art, it's important to kind of keep these ideas in mind. You know, think about them. The first idea, make sure you have a good ref sheet.
Yes.
You know, it's the standard 3 sides, right?
I want to add. Well, you know, you don't even have to do 3 sides. A lot of artists can work from even just the front. I can work from just a 1 point view. But be prepared to answer questions.
Oh yeah. No, like the answer questions about your markings.
Yes.
And be prompt with those answering of those questions, because you know,
I think I mentioned recently, like, if I ask you a question on Tuesday, please don't wait until the following Wednesday to answer the question, because that means I don't work on your art until you answer.
Yeah, and
at all.
And again, you know, like that's also intimately tied to the fact that, you know, like artists have cues. It's one of those things.
We are working on a schedule. Any artist worth their salt has a schedule. just like anything else. And on that, this is a very specific thing. Some artists maybe don't have a bother with it. Save your ref sheets in PNG, not JPEG. JPEG compresses, it loses color. You'll have 5 different shades of this one particular area of blue. Don't do it, it's PNG. PNG, always. Actually, just in general, save as PNG, 100%, all the time.
Oh, totally. Yeah, like just making sure that you have those good refs.
Yes.
Like that's the
it saves us hours.
best thing that you could possibly do.
In this process, and I'll explain a little why. It saves us hours of work because if I don't have a perfect ref, I'm gonna go ahead, instead of asking you, I'm gonna go to your profiles, I'm gonna find other references of your work. I'm gonna see what other artists did to solve that problem, so I don't have to, you know, reinvent the wheel.
Totally. And to kind of go off that, you know, like, so like another thing really, you know, like that is so important to commissioning art. Whenever you're going out there, you're looking and you're like, hey, I really want a brand new, amazing piece of art. Be descriptive about what you want. You gotta tell people, describe it. Don't just be like, hey, just draw me a thing. Like, if you want a good piece of art, you know, like you have to tell people that, you know, like you want it like this with this emotional feeling and maybe in this setting and, you know, like show references of it.
Yes, absolutely. And don't be afraid to use other artwork pieces as references because we can get a mood from it. We're not going to trace it. We just need an aesthetic. Yeah. Okay. And it doesn't have to be for your art. It could be a picture of your barn in the cold winter world. That's the aesthetic you want. Yeah, go for it.
I mean, I've done photographs before.
Absolutely.
You know, like photographic references are great.
They're amazing. And, I had a thought and then I lost it. But generally speaking, if you don't have any idea what you want, you just want art from the artist, when you get that sketch, don't be like, well, I wanted something completely different. Be 100% sure when you send in that information. Once you click that file, include ref, have your everything that you want in your head typed out. Okay, because we can't read minds.
Yeah, and I mean, like,
I wish we could. It would make my job a whole lot easier.
That's kind of like the one thing that really, you know, like always gets me is, you know, like you'll see people that will complain about art experiences, but in, you know, like in most of those cases, it is intimately tied to the fact that they weren't communicating with the artist.
Communication and relationships in art is key.
It's important.
100%.
Remember, art is a medium in which it requires a lot of time and skill to learn, and I always tip artists. It's always important to tip your artists. It's like, it sounds absurd at first, but like, I mean, like think about it like, you know, like you tip waitresses, baristas, you know, like if somebody's making something special for you, something that in this case is
custom.
Yeah, custom, literally custom for you. Yeah. You know, if they do a good job, you want to say, hey, you know, like, I think you did a good job. Yeah. And that's when you know, like, that's when you tip somebody.
And it's not like, I don't ever expect a tip.
Yeah.
But when, like, I can't explain to you the euphoria. Because, like, I've sent, like, final works and they say, thanks, and that's it. Yeah. And that's like, oh, I messed up. And it's not even like saying that that's bad. It's just in my head, I'm like, I didn't do 101%. When you send a tip, it's like I did 200%. I have now made a connection with a client that I want to work for again, not because of the money, but like, I know you enjoy my work. You know what I like, you enjoy how I did it. You enjoyed how long it took. I have a connection with you now. If you want that connection with an artist, that it's not like buying an artist. It's just that I know I can trust you to give honest feedback and just have a good relationship. I mean, and also the money is nice because like maybe I'll buy myself a coffee that day where I didn't have the funds to be able to do so.
Yeah, I mean, like it does wonders really, like in your kind of development of any relationship with an artist, especially if it's somebody like I know this is really common in the fandom. You know, like you'll literally have artists you are fans of, and you know, like you might fangirl or fanboy over them, and you're just like, oh my god, you know, like I love your work, I love it so much.
It's so cute, by the way.
And when you finally get that commission from them, you know, like it's amazing, and like that's a great way to show your appreciation for them and build a personal relationship with them. Like it's huge.
It's fantastic, and it's just a good like connection. I don't want to say like money buys you, but it does make that endorphin go, ooh, well, good client.
I don't think that it buys you anything so like much as it says thank you.
It's just a thank. It's a gratuity.
Yeah, it's a gratuity. It's something that you do.
That's what a tip means, gratuity.
Just the tip.
Oh my god.
Boom. Okay.
Just that.
All right, guys, be sure to go check out Bitters. Bitters is on Twitter and on Fur Affinity.
Yep. All my links to my stuff
yeah.
are on my Twitter. I'm pretty sure they're also on my Fur Affinity. I have an art channel. I have our discussion group. Like, just feel free to join them. I would love to see you.
You know, I have a question for you guys. I want to know this from you. Tell me what your best commission experience was and what your worst commission experience was. Because I know it goes all over the map, and there's good experiences and bad experiences.
For both sides. I have been on the other side too. Don't get me wrong. I have been a commissioner many times.
It's challenging. Like, this kind of stuff isn't easy. It can be frustrating and weird and whatever. But like, tell me your best story. We'd love to hear from you. Anyways, I hope you guys have a fabulous day. Bye.
Bye.